My lords, it's a pleasure to follow the noble Lady Baroness Jones of Whitchurch, even after a 5-day interval, and in a debate truncated by a perhaps now unnecessary withdrawal of a number of noble lords. For the convenience of the House, I'll remind everyone, we're speaking about amendments that are all about the long-awaited, much-delayed bottle deposit scheme for England, an area in which we are notably world-leading in foot dragging. Just a few statistics. 10 other countries in Europe have these operating, their bottle recycling success rates running from an outstanding 98.5% in Germany, where of course they've had lots of practice since they started in 2003. And even down the bottom of the pack, Estonia has a very respectable, certainly by our standards, 83.7% bottle return rate. That's why Amendment 133, which sets a deadline for implementation, is so important, and I would have attached my name to it had there been space. I agree with the noble Baroness Lady Jones that it should be earlier still. It should have been delivered years ago, but January 2023 is practical, and it certainly should not be left outside the term of this current government, assuming, of course, it continues for that long. I want to speak in support of all of the amendments in this group, with the partial exception of 134B, which exempts small brewers, which is not because I don't think that we need to consider such small producers, but rather that because 134A, in the names of the same noble lords, Viscounts Trenchard and the noble Lord Berkeley, is broader and more useful, covering all kinds of producers. There clearly needs to be some easy, simple way for startup businesses, brewers or soft drink or juice producers, to access the scheme. One route might be to require larger companies to allow smaller to piggyback on their schemes. But I'm going to focus this contribution on Amendment 134, which appears in my name. And I thank the noble Lady Baroness Jones of Whitchurch for her expression of support for it. And as with the earlier Nappies Amendment, I wish to declare the support in preparing and discussing this from the Aluminium Industry Association, Alupro. I'm sure many noble lords are aware that for all the UK's inadequate performance on recycling, it does relatively well in recycling aluminium compared to other materials, for reasons including the value of the material, with aluminium packaging recycling reaching its highest ever rate in 2020, 68% of material placed on the market being recycled. That includes 82% of all aluminium beverage cans. This is, of course, a material that can be recycled indefinitely, unlike most plastic. Now, of course, we shouldn't forget that the best option, the top of the waste pyramid, is to reduce packaging materials, no container at all, and then to reuse them. But for recycling, aluminium is a good choice. Alpro put to me, and I see the force of the argument, that a scheme with a flat deposit amount for all containers, regardless of size or material, would lead to switching from multi-packs of aluminium cans to large format plastic bottles, due to the cumulative cost of the deposit fee on multi-packs. For example, a 20p flat deposit fee would add £4.80 to a 24-pack of cans, yet the same volume of liquid in 4 plastic bottles would be just 80p deposit fee. A poll of consumers in 2019 found that a 20p flat deposit fee would encourage more than 60% of individuals to switch to large PET bottles at the expense of aluminium. Now, Alpro commissioned the research consultancy London Economics to look at consumer behaviour and the differential impacts of a flat or variable rate scheme. That found a variable rate, as used in various successful Nordic schemes, would deliver significantly higher return rates in the first 2 years, while a flat rate would increase the amount of plastic sold, could lead to higher amounts of product wastage and increased portion sizes, which has an obvious impact on public health. It would also have a dramatic impact on the aluminium packaging sector, meaning up to 4.7 billion fewer cans, a very significant loss in revenue, and somewhere between 24 and 73% reduction in demand for aluminium cans in large multi-packs. This, my lords, is an industry with a case, and the practical sense of the bottle deposit varying according to the size of container is evident. And having seen such variable schemes in operation in various parts of Europe, with scanning of barcodes expected anyway to be part of the scheme, it presents no practical difficulties. Now, I know the Noble Lord the Minister, in the letter that he kindly sent to noble lords on Friday afternoon, said, I paraphrase, let's leave it to regulation, leave it to the implementation stage. But why? Why not set out the basic ground rules now on the face of the bill to make sure that the scheme we get is fit for purpose, and to give manufacturers time to prepare for implementation of the scheme as speedily as possible, as the very important Amendment 133 with which we started this group seeks to attain? Thank you, my lords.